Hello there. If you're watching this, then you are interested in the entity I'm talking about. Let's call him Entity Fire. Basically, when I was 7 years old, I'm 11 now, going to middle school. When I was 7, in my first Minecraft world I ever made, I saw an entity on a fiery surfboard made of fire. And yes, I do mean fire particles. And basically, on that day, I saw him. I followed the entity, but I never saw him after that. I haven't seen him since. And you see, it's hard looking for things like that because I don't know how I found this thing. It's not Herobrine, not Entity 404. It's something else completely. I call it Entity Fire, or Fire Entity, if you want. And basically, this thing, this creation, I don't know what happened. Somehow, some way, it came into my world. In its position, this was before emotes existed in Minecraft. It looked like how you would look on a surfboard, but Minecraft with its arms outwards, facing down. And they were a bit separated, and that's why I was confused when I first saw it. And it's similar to that new skin we got for getting the fire achievement, and for the terrible fortress we're going to the nether. It's a fiery type player, almost something from our future that we are in today. I'm not kidding when I say this. I followed it and I found a pit of lava. And no, not regular. I am talking lava in a ravine. This lava went on for millions, maybe even trillions of blocks. I know that sounds like an exaggeration. It went past the barrier. Yeah, I don't know what happened. This thing, it did something to that world, and I'm too afraid to check it out. I forgot the seed number, 3678 something. I can't remember clearly, but from what I remember, this thing was something else, because when I saw it, I realized no mobs had spawned at that night. None at all. Almost like the deep dark. No, I'm not kidding. I mean this. Not a single mob spawned during the night. I couldn't find any skeletons, spiders, or anything like that. In fact, it's hard to believe, but I feel like it's something else. This isn't a player. This isn't a being. This is a physical thing that you can actually hit. I know that because I tried shooting at it with an arrow, and the arrow went through, I think. Am I kidding? I probably didn't even do anything to it. This is all from memory, just so you know. I don't know what this thing is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what to tell you. It is something beyond my comprehension, from what I can tell. This thing is something that is made of fire, but is also alive and sentient like mine. I'm confused. It's like it knew that I was watching it, because it was going slow at first, enough for me to notice, but then when I looked at it, it sped up to a point where I could see it slowly going off in the distance. And to be honest, I was going to chase after it, I should say, because what really happened is I just stood there. What I found was it kept on going and going and going. It never stopped. I have not been able to find this thing since. And I can remember this from when I was 7. And the crazy part is, when I was 7, that's when I first got Minecraft. That was my first ever world to exist. Call it cap all you want. I refuse to believe what I saw was my imagination getting the better of me. Because I know when I've seen something that my imagination hasn't. That thing was there. It's not a figment of my imagination or anything, no. This thing was physically moving. It's similar to that of the warden, but it's made of fire and it has a fire board. Think of Silver Surfer. It's like he has a board like that, and how do I say this? You can't kill this thing, from what I can tell. And the reason you can't is because it moves too fast. I spawned in my world, and I looked right up to see if I could find any phantoms or any... Well, no, not even phantoms. I looked up in my world to see if I could find anything, or just to look up and see the sky, I guess, because it was my first world. I didn't know what I was doing. And I saw that thing fly by, and I'm like, what was that? And see, after it vanishes from my render distance, I see if I can follow it, and I start flying upwards, and because I'm in creative, just so you know, I was in creative at this time. Nothing like that I have never seen before, ever. This thing is just... If it's a figment of my imagination, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe I'm going insane even. But whatever I saw that day was not something to be messed with. This thing seemed similar to that of the warden, except it had the abilities of a phantom and a blaze. That's why I was confused. I hadn't seen any mob until today. The only thing that has any physical similarity to it is the deep dark. Yes, the biome known as the deep dark is compared to this thing because, well, if it spawns in your world, you won't see any mobs really, not at night at least. And I mean that I went to a plains biome that was only like 100 blocks from spawn, right? Guess what I saw? Not a single fucking mob. I'm not kidding when I say that. Not a single mob. Because if I did see a mob, trust me, I would have known. There was not a singular mob. Remember, this was my first time playing Minecraft in general. I had just gone through the tutorial. Basically, that's why I was confused. Why aren't there any mobs? They told me there should be millions, but no. Not even a zombie, not even a skeleton. Fuck it, not even an enderman. All these common mobs, even creepers, none of them existed. They were just gone from my world, which may I say was on normal. Not peaceful, normal. Not a single damn mob existed at that moment. Almost like they would have been burnt. And I'm not kidding when I say this. There weren't even item drops. There was nothing at all. I'm not kidding when I say this. Like, you cannot make this shit up. I'm genuinely concerned for whoever finds this thing again because I'm afraid it might come back stronger than it did last time. And if it does, that would mean this thing is able to destroy worlds. Because this thing already was able to destroy mine at least. Well, partially a bit of its code, I think, but otherwise this thing is something else. I don't know what to call it. It is a being that doesn't make sense. Maybe game theory can make a theory on this, a video perhaps? I would hope so, but I just want some closure with this thing to finally learn. The fuck is it? Seriously, I don't have any ideas of what this thing could or is, of what this thing could be. I don't. Because, see, it's hard trying to understand what this thing is capable of. Because when I first saw it, every mob, any entity that was counted as a enemy mob, like a zombie or something, was gone. Nothing but peaceful mobs existed, except for wolves and pigmen, of course. Those were still around. I cannot remember the fuck this thing is. This thing is something else, something I cannot understand. And tell me if I'm insane all you like. I don't care. But it's hard to understand what I saw that day. And after that, I just kept on playing Minecraft like nothing, like I didn't see anything. But then it happened again. Once again at night, not a single mob, but one single skeleton. Well, not exactly one, but like only, how do I say it? Something like 2 skeletons. Those were the only hostile mobs I found during that day. During that night, actually. Otherwise, I couldn't find anything else. Only thing I could... The odd part is, when I went to the Nether was much more dangerous than it should have been. I'm talking millions of wither skeletons, which is very, very odd. There should be about somewhere around 10 to 20, I want to say, of wither skeletons in a fortress. No, this thing had hundreds of them. Don't even get me started on the blazes. There were thousands of blazes around the Nether. And I don't know what to tell you. This thing messed with Minecraft's code. In some way, somehow, there were more mobs in the Nether than there should ever be. Now, Matspat, can you please, if you can see this video, I want you to try to make a theory on this and explain to me, what the fuck is this thing? It doesn't make any sense. Its abilities, from what I can see, it has 2 major abilities. One, actually. It seems that... Wait, what if... No, that doesn't make sense, but how? How would it do that? That shouldn't... I mean, it would have it making portals and destroying them in mere seconds to be able to do that. But I don't get it. How? That shouldn't be possible. This thing seems to be able to... I'm afraid to say it, it seems to be able to transport mobs and turn them into nether mobs. Like skeletons from our world will be turned in... Skeletons from the Minecraft overworld, at least, will be turned into wither skeletons and taken to the Nether. But that doesn't make sense. I'm genuinely wondering what this is. MapApp, please make a video on this, a theory or something. I just want some closure with this thing, whatever it is. I've been holding back the urge to talk about this for a while now because I didn't think anybody would believe me, but MapApp, with your audience and your smarts, you should definitely be able to figure out what is this thing. And no, I'm not lying when I say this. This thing was something that could legitimately be dangerous to your Minecraft world. And I'm talking the Nether. Forget the blaze rods. Try to survive there for 2 minutes. I'm not kidding when I say this. You'd have mobs sneaking up on you, ready to murder you at all times. But yeah, that's the end of this video.